Hello and welcome to Nick's Allotment Diary.
We're now at the point where the sweet corn is ready for harvest. When I've come up to the plot today, I've noticed that something has got there before me. I don't know whether it's birds or rodents, rats basically, that have been eating my sweet corn, but something certainly has. I would think, given the height of the plants, that it probably is birds that have been munching on the sweet corn. There are some cobs that are okay. That one over there, that one has started to be eaten. These ones have been eaten. So I think for damage limitation, I'm going to pick all the cobs that have the brown tassels today. I'll discard the ones that have been nibbled by something, because I don't know what's been nibbling them. But any that are still looking alright, I'll harvest today. If you remember, there were some plants that were planted later than the first plants. These are still in the process of forming cobs. They're not yet turned the dark colour, so there won't be any kernels in these ones yet. And this plant, as it hasn't even produced its male flowers, so these will be later produced cobs. Hopefully I should get them later in September. Here we have one of the pumpkins. This one I think is from the blue pumpkin plant, so it's part of the blue pumpkin challenge. It's not yet very big. The pumpkin plants and the butternut squash plants have all combined together, so there's lots of different plants with different squashes amongst them. Loads of different flowers. Look down here, there's another one. Here are the yellow courgettes. Plenty of those coming. Need to harvest some of those today. One of the butternut squashes. That's starting to swell now. There are plenty little ones. There's a small one. Pumpkin here. Another butternut squash there. So there's a mixture of all sorts of different squashes in this bed. An update on the greenhouse. Finally, the tomatoes are ripening. Got a mixture of different tomatoes here. There's some cherry plum tomatoes, plenty of those. They're all starting to ripen. This variety, which is a sort of yellowy orange colour, which is called sun cherry. They don't certainly look like cherry tomatoes, they're a decent yellow size. And this variety, which has small purple fruits, is a variety called indigo blue berries. The peppers are really starting to ripen up now. Some nice looking red pointed peppers called Marconi. The chilies are starting to ripen, and these ones are sort of turning a yellowy orange colour. They started off as sort of black, but they're turning an orangey colour. Whether they'll eventually turn red, I'm not sure. The bell peppers are turning from green to yellow, which is good. And the sweet bonita ones, which started off a yellowy colour, are starting to tinge a red colour. There are a few that have got holes in, but they're starting to change colour to an orangey colour. Eventually I think they may go red. And finally, the varieties that I said, the Aldi pointed peppers, they are coming a lovely shade of red, which was the colour of the pepper that I harvested the seeds from. Talking of tomatoes, the outdoor tomatoes are still doing well. As you're probably aware, I've been growing the variety called Crimson Crush, which is the blight resistant variety. These tomatoes have been okay, even though they've been quite close to potatoes that have had the blight fungus. So I'm pretty pleased with Crimson Crush as an outdoor tomato. It's been producing quite a lot of fruit of a decent size, and the taste isn't bad too. Today's harvest from the plot. We've got some sweet peppers, sweet corn, potatoes, tomatoes, some more different peppers, cucumbers, and loads of French beans. It's now time to lift the potatoes that I cut the tops off a few weeks ago. There's a couple of rows of Cara potatoes, and I've dug about a row and a half so far. I managed to get plenty of potatoes. I'll show you when I've completed the row. Just finished digging up the 2 rows of spuds, and this is the result. Probably about 16 plants. Plenty of potatoes for me and my mate Dave. Some spuds coming your way, Dave. The only potatoes left in the ground now are the Sarpomera potatoes, which are still valiantly battling the blight. As you can see, the leaves are generally fairly healthy, but there are ones that have got brown patches on and die back. But because this is a blight resistant variety, I'm going to let them carry on growing a little bit longer. Thanks very much for joining me at Nick's Allotment. I'll see you again next time.